What it is.
Niggas like to rap about a whole lot of dumb shit, but when it's over and it's done with, a nigga loses his whole life with the gun shit. So pay attention who you run with, cause you can get done quick, done quick. But I'm riding from the cradle to the grave, I can't lose another one G. Understand what a nigga tryna say, you can go with the dumb shit, make a bad decision. I'd rather run a whole class, put your asses in it. I'm mashed for nigga, they won't put them in the bag, my nigga. So think about it, you don't really have to blast a nigga. So get your ass up out the streets and get the bag, my nigga. Need some direction, then all you do is ask, my nigga. The task is bigger, and we don't need no mask, my nigga. Hey, matter of fact, let's toast, get your glass, my nigga. But when you try to live good, see the bag come with it. But when you try to live fast, it's a bad collision. Won't last a minute, now that body back, your ass is in it. You try to walk a tightrope, look how fast it finish. You wanna go another round, but you pass your limit. Now your tank go E, no more gas is in it. Your swag ain't winning, and now they gonna blast your business. See, I told you it wouldn't last a minute. Niggas like to rap about a whole lot of dumb shit, but when it's over and it's done with, a nigga loses his whole life with the gun shit. So pay attention who you run with, cause you can get done quick, done quick. But I'm riding from the cradle to the grave, I can't lose another one G. Understand what a nigga tryna say, you can go with the dumb shit. Think I made it this far, not by riding in a bitch car. I had my own dreams, I manifest a big star. I kept my eyes on these niggas, I were Hitchcock. Had to make a couple piss, but niggas focus on a big drop. I was in the studio, working on my hip. I was taught to keep my lips locked. The streets to get a bitch knocked, and y'all done switched the whole game up, flip-flop, Millie Rock. Now these niggas rapping for the city cops, and niggas, they don't know who really ops. Talking about bodies, nigga, how many you really got? Niggas sound dumber than a bitch, they need the realest. Nigga, tell me what you really want, and do you really even know? You playing tough for a bitch just to keep a hoe, just to get a little deep though. This what you niggas falling weak for? You better wake up, cause you sleep folk. Niggas like to rap about a whole lot of dumb shit, but when it's over and it's done with, a nigga loses his whole life with the gun shit. So pay attention who you run with, cause you can get done quick, done quick. But I'm riding from the cradle to the grave, I can't lose another one G. Understand what a nigga tryna say, you can go with the dumb shit. Y'all niggas better open your eyes, man. Don't be no follower, nigga. These niggas gon' lead your ass right into the grave, nigga. Keep playing. Yeah. They got a big ass black box with your name on it, nigga. Think I'm playing. Better go on with the dumb shit. Not the same, pimpin'. My face card good. Certified. My face card good. Not the same, pimpin'. Better tighten up. Certified face.
They want beef, they don't want peace. The news say they want beef, they don't want peace. The views say they want beef, they don't want peace. On YouTube, they want beef, they don't want peace. Like you do. Good, boss.
Niggas think that I'm foolish. I rudely push or remove them. My manners tell me excuse them, but can't come to that conclusion. Their stories are convoluted. My concepts are deeply rooted. I'm not interested in that gun that you own when you don't shoot. What else?
Told Blake it's a rap, what you recommend?
Let them breathe, gotta show them, but they stepping in.
Yeah, it's a league of extraordinary gentlemen.
This is my view, so I'm giving my sentiment.
Juking in my two-step, really jack. Told my nigga boss chill, he looked at me like,
give him that. Gotta make niggas believe, gotta make a nigga see how you really make a king. If a nigga don't believe, let the pussy nigga be. He'll see when you give him that. Gotta make niggas believe, gotta make a nigga see how you really make a king.
One time for the one time.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the you here? We here? Oh, what we going? What we doing, boss?
You want to go ahead and ride that bitch out?
Man, or you want to have an intermission? We can have an intermission and do it like that. It don't even matter, man.
It's up to you. Hey.
Yeah, let's have an intermission and do it like that, I guess.
Okay,
man.
okay. Yeah. Y'all stay tuned, man. We got a brand new banger that we just dropped. But yeah, we wanna salute everybody in the building. See some people here, some people dip, some people, might drop off for a second, go get a sandwich, go get a drink, whatever it is. But welcome to Big Business Podcast.
Yep.
Y'all know who I am. I'm boss.
YJ, as always, Cupcake in the building. Good to see you. Good to see you.
So what's good with you, my brother?
Not much, man. Coming up here, speak to the people for a little bit.
The peep house.
We got what we got in the title. That's kind of the meat and the potatoes of it all. But we're gonna chop it up about some other shit first.
Most definitely. Yeah, we got a special guest gonna be joining us real soon.
Oh yeah,
y'all stay tuned for that. First time on the Big Business Podcast. First featured guest. So y'all don't go nowhere. But yeah, we got some things to talk about, man. We got some things to talk about.
For sure.
Salute to everybody in the chat. John is in the chat. NIKKI News in the chat. So where you want to start this thing off at?
I guess, man, hey. I mean, you want to do the Colorado thing first, just to have something real quick.
We can do that. So, of course, y'all know Colorado is just doing their thing right now. You feel me? And they're now 3-0. And that third win came at a very, very costly hit on their best player, which is Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
And came from a Colorado State player who it was dirty. There's no other way to put it, but it was a dirty hit. It threw the ball down the sideline, and the ball hit the ground, and the Colorado State safety hit the player after the play. And he is now receiving death threats.
But why? Why? It was a dirty play. Yes. It was a dirty play. I mean,
what? Man, it's a lot. I don't agree with it. Let me say that first and foremost.
Right.
But we talking about a kid from I ain't gonna say he's poor, I ain't gonna say he's from the gutter, from the hood, nothing like that. But this kid has an opportunity to change his family's life forever. That's how I looked at it. And from the injury, he's gonna miss the next 3 to 4 weeks. And I think he had like a severed liver or something. I got to go back and look at it, but it was a very, very bad injury. But I'm going to share what Prime had to say about it. And Coach Prime, should I say?
I just want to say this. This is football, okay? All right, that's all I'm going to say. Let's
yeah, it's no place. It's no place in football for stuff like that, man. So let's go ahead and listen to Prime, man. I like the way Prime handled this. Prime handled this like a professional that he is, man. Hopefully this is the right one.
I want to see the hit.
You want to see the hit?
Well, I've seen it, but I want to see it. I just want to see it again real quick. But you go ahead and run this.
All right.
Henry Blackburn, I want you guys to record this and run with this. Henry Blackburn is a good player who played a phenomenal game. He made a tremendous hit on Travis on the sideline. You could call it dirty. You could call it he was just playing the game of football. But whatever it was, it does not constitute that he should be receiving death threats. That's this is
Facts.
still a young man trying to make it in life, a guy that's trying to live his dream and hopefully graduate with honors or degree, uh, committed to excellence and go to the NFL. He does not deserve a death threat over a game. At the end of the day, this is a game. Someone must win, someone must lose. Everybody continues their life the next day. Very unfortunate. I'm saddened if there's any of our fans that's on the other side of those threats. I would hope and pray not, but that kid was just playing the best of his ability and he made a mistake. So I forgive him. See you. Our team forgive him. Travis he's forgiven him. Let's move on. But that kid does not deserve that.
Yeah. That he did handle that good. He handled that very well, I would say.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But I want to hear your thoughts, man. You kind of got quiet for a little bit.
Yeah, and I kind of wanted to see the footage again just so I can remember, because I've been hearing about it, and I was watching that night, and I seen it that day or the next day, because I think I mixed the actual play and I watched it the next day. And then I seeing the fallout of it and everything, and Travis Hunter in this, in his laying in a hospital or whatever. But
See if I can
I guess I'll just put it like this, man. It's a mistake that I know he'll never make again. There's dirty, like, how many chances did, and I know it's NFL, but how many chances in Dominican Sue got? Like, this is a game. This is a game, as he said, but this is a game that involves, if you make one split second decision wrong, and we look at it in slow motion, but we don't realize in the moment, adrenaline pumping, actually what it takes to kind of do this and play this game. So that's why I think I err on the side of leniency towards the young brother that did hit him, because I realize what kind of game it is and what millisecond split kind of decision that, with that adrenaline pumping in this game, what goes into it. So I kind of give him a pass type. I don't give him a pass. It was wrong, but I understand type of thing.
I think Deion, that interview was a lot longer, and I think Deion used the same word you use, a mistake. And I disagree with both of y'all. That wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. I mean, it's a mistake.
The mistake was doing what he did. I want to clear that up.
Okay.
No, I'm not saying he made a mistake. I'm saying the mistake is him choosing to do what he did.
Right. Okay, I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
But this was definitely intentional. I'm gonna see if I can slow this down real quick. I'm gonna mute it so we don't gotta hear the. All right. So this is the play right here. This is the player right here that you're looking at. This is the guy who made the dirty hit. It should be coming up in a second. Here we go. So as you see, ball on the ground. Boom. Now I know you'll say that was split second. He avoided hitting his own player to make sure he hit Travis. Once again.
So what my thing is,
ball on the ground. Ball's on the ground. Right?
Yeah, and we are in slow motion. I just want to add that. And his momentum and his intention is already set before the ball hit the ground. So from the time he seen it wasn't a play, he would have had to switch. I don't know, man.
But he avoided hitting his own teammate. He could have avoided hitting Travis.
Because that was his intention from the beginning, was to not hit his player, of course, though. I mean, we can agree to that.
Yeah, true that. Now watch him. Now, take a look at it.
Oh, yeah. After the thing, he felt good. He didn't care.
Look at that. Yeah. He did that purposely. His actions shows that.
I want you to play it in real time.
Oh, yeah. He lowered that shoulder.
Yeah, he did. He did. And I agree. I just want to see it in real time.
All right. There we go. Go back too far. There we go.
Yeah, man, the tension that, because, and the thing is, did he lead with the head? He was trying to make a body shot. He was trying to. I look at those two things. You talk about head on, helmet to helmet, and all of that. He was trying to make, his intention didn't start, I think, where it ended.
So if you're doing something and I'm standing close to you, accidentally hit me, you ain't gonna be like, yeah, nigga, yeah. You'll be like, yeah, my bad. Or you make sure.
But the thing is, how many times, and I understand that. I just think, how many times have we seen a hit look just like that and nobody be hurt?
I mean, it's not the fact that he got. I mean, that is a big situation that he did get hurt. That's not taking that. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is he did it, and he didn't care that he did it. He didn't care.
Right. At the time, he didn't.
After he hit him, I don't care about no adrenaline, nothing. If you didn't mean to do it, you would have helped the man up. At least say, oh, man. We done seen that happen when players do things on the basketball court that they did not try to do.
Right.
Help the player up.
I'm not saying it wasn't a mistake. That's how, it was a mistake. His actions after everything, I'm sure he feels regret for it. I just, does he have a reputation of this? I just can't, man, because you playing football, man. And
So we can all say the Buffalo shooter, he made a mistake. But his intention was to kill people. But what he did was a mistake. Did he have a history of it? No. But he did what he did, so he should be punished for that shit.
And he should. He should be punished. I do think that. With death, no. But yeah, we just gonna have to agree to disagree on that one, boss.
That's cool.
Yeah, because
I'm a football player, so I understand the game.
And I Max Kellerman doesn't understand the game because he didn't play.
I'm not saying you don't understand the game.
Well, every time y'all say that, that's what it basically means to me.
Well,
it's the game that I've watched a lot of, not recently, but in the past. I can't take away the fact of what this game is and the nature of the game.
It's a violent sport. It's definitely a violent sport, and I understand that. But when you intentionally do something, and this is the outcome, regardless if he was hurt, he still should have been suspended or something. But the reason why they wouldn't, because it wasn't his helmet. Right. That's why I think that's the only reason he didn't get suspended. He led with his shoulder.
Right.
still was a dirty play. You know,
It was.
And no, he shouldn't receive death threats. No. But if I was Travis, and this is just me speaking, if that was me, once I healed up, if I seen him again, I would beat his ass, bro. For real. I would.
I couldn't blame you. So they said, okay, so I just want to kind of conclude on this. They said so he has some type of internal damage from this.
Correct.
Like organs, and that's even more, you know, you could say that's more serious than breaking a leg or something, you know, breaking a bone, because an organ is an organ. So, but the dude, they're saying, so he's not suspended or anything?
No. And I don't think he will be. I think people want him to be suspended because Travis is hurt.
Right,
But
and that's
Travis
wrong to do
hurt,
that.
Yeah, if Travis didn't get hurt, he wouldn't have got suspended either because he didn't lead with his helmet.
Right.
It was unsportsmanlike. He hit him after the play. That doesn't cause for you to get suspended. It's just unfortunate that this man got hurt. Right.
I guess I kind of just look at the game like it's a blood sport, man. It's like it's cutthroat. That's like I look at it from, you know, I don't like that they kick the ball in the NFL all up close and shit, so it can't be no kick returns no more. I don't like that shit. I want to see that every time, him try to at least get them 20 and get some more and see a big hit. I like that shit, but you know, if I was in the game, no, I wouldn't like that. I shit, put my hand up. But shit, it's a fucking gladiator. Like, some people look at it like this, man. I'm just saying what it is, man.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna see hard hits, and that's what I like about the sport. I love it. And but when you put yourself in a position to do something dirty, I have no sympathy for you on what's the outcome for you. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's already a very violent sport, but when you play within the rules of the goddamn game, and nobody can say nothing to you.
And I think the sympathy you give to him, or the non-sympathy you have for him, is the same non-sympathy that other people give for people who would even play that game, because you put yourself in this position in this game and you know what it's the nature of it. See what I'm saying?
Them some heartless ass people though.
Well, I might be heartless, man, but if you a race car driver and somebody does a dirty pit move, you know how they do it. Like, you know that this comes with this game. People like this, and you know that this, you know, so that non-sympathy, it could go both ways. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, you know, if you walk outside, there's a potential that you could get hit by a car too. So you're gonna stay in the house for the rest of your life?
Hey,
I'm just saying, bro.
I understand. To me, that's a false equivalency, but I understand the analogy.
That's a false equivalency. I mean, everybody has a choice,
right?
And
right.
I think if that choice that you're making, it doesn't matter. It's going to be a outcome or a reaction to a possible outcome, and that's just life. That's just life in itself. It doesn't matter. You can be a damn doctor, you know, surgically removing somebody's spleen or something, and you accidentally fucking cut your own self and cut your finger off.
I mean, and that's what you got to deal with, because you in there.
No, man. I ain't got no sympathy for you. You knew what it was going to be when you came a doctor.
I'm just fucking with you, man. But you know, it's just, you know, it is what it is, man. Said the ball was down already. There was no need to hit the player after the fact. Cupcake say, hopefully the young man will get himself under control and understand the mechanics of what is and isn't needed in the game. He has to be coached out of spitefulness. And
let me ask you before we get off this topic. Does this make a difference? What if his coach told him to do that? Did that make any difference?
If his coach told him to do it?
Yeah. I'm not saying that's the case.
Right.
What if his coach told him to do that? Does that make you feel any different?
No, because I understand how cutthroat some of these people is playing this game, man. These people blood, sweat, and tears for this game, man. This ain't no game to some people. So, as far as sending a message, if the intent was to let me stop, man. Let me stop, man. Marley 13 in the building. What's good? What's good?
Marley? What's good? We're gonna keep it moving. Keep it moving. What we gonna hit on next, man? We gonna get to the meat and potatoes soon.
Yeah, I mean, we could get into it now. I don't know, because I think it's gonna be some,
Yeah, I think so too. I think so.
Shit, we did 25 minutes on that shit. Hey.
So I'll tell you what we'll do then. We're gonna play our brand new jam, and we're gonna go ahead and tell our special guest to come on through the back door.
Oh yeah, we got a special guest in the building tonight.
So yeah, we're gonna play this song. Ain't up to 2 minutes, but it's a banger. It's on all platforms.
Oh, you chopping up.
But yeah,
you chopping up.
Uh-oh. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you good now. Go ahead and say what you just. Yeah, you good. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we're gonna ask our special guest to come on to the back. We're gonna pull up. This is our brand new banger, out now on our platforms. If you ain't hear it yet, you're in for a treat. This is a new joint. It's called
Only 2 minutes, people.
2 minutes.
We'll be back.
This is We Here.
We Here.
We Here.
We got now. We ain't got next. We got now. We ain't coming no more.
Better move out the way, better move out the way. They ain't got nothing else to say. You can doubt us all you want. You can doubt us all you want. We coming, we coming. You better move out the way, better move out the way. They ain't got nothing else to say. You can doubt us all you want. You can doubt us all you want. But it's up, it's up, it's up, it's up.
To all the haters, y'all can step on. It's time to move on. Coach trying to find a new home. We talking Buffalo strong. Them old hills, we tell them so long. You can't tell me I'm wrong. Hey, we gon' run this 9 round. That mean the 100 go long. Hey, hold on, they just don't know. Our Buffalo road, you better know we gon' protect them. And that's the end of your road. And they know wherever we go, know that we don't fold. We know the haters talking, we just act like we don't know. Don't let go. And they know we strap up, we put on, we go hard, they go home. That's on guard, they'll fold, make them roll. But no tide, we roll with no stride. We coming, but we live. Colorado has a pride, so let's ride.
Move out the way, better move out the way. They ain't got nothing else to say. And you can doubt us all you want. You can doubt us all you want. We coming, we coming. You better move out the way, better move out the way. They ain't got nothing else to say. And you can doubt us all you want. You can doubt us all you want. But it's up, it's up, it's up, it's up for them. Move, or we gon' move some. Go, we come, go, we come. Or we gon' move some. Or we gon' move some. Go, we come, go, we come. We better move, or we gon' move some. Go, we come, go, we come. Or we gon' move some. Or we gon' move some. Go, we come, go, we come. Or we gon' move some.
Hey, that boy from Colorado said, "Move, or we gonna move something." Goddamn. Let me stop. Man, that song. Hey, that song made me want to join the army. Yes,
He's talking about that dude from Colorado said, "You better move." Don't get that dude messed up.
nah.
So yeah, we gonna keep the show rolling. We still waiting on our guests to slide up here. But you want to go ahead and introduce this next topic we gonna touch on, man? It's very, very sad and weird.
Yeah, it's a little different. It's a little different. And Cupcake, I did see your comment about hitting the link coming up here. You definitely will have your chance to speak on it, because when it comes to this drug fentanyl, I've spoke with you behind the scenes. even about not this specifically, but we've had talks about, you know, this scourge on society called fentanyl. Crazy part is I didn't even get the video, so I'm gonna do that right now. I didn't think about it. That's my bad, people. Sorry about that.
We good. We good. We got time.
Oh yeah,
it's in the private chat.
Oh, is that the video there?
That's what Nancy Gray.
Oh yeah, the net. Okay, yeah. Got me sounding like Charleston White, man. I see. Hey, I had seen a nigga stand up, man. Somebody uploaded Charleston White stand up. I said, let me see if this nigga funny on stage. I started watching it. I ain't get a laugh yet, but I was like, I give him a chance. Nah.
All right, so our special guest has slid through the back door.
Oh yeah,
so we're gonna go ahead and bring him up. Y'all know this man from everywhere. You know, he touched on a lot of cases. I know him personally. He worked the Kanika Jenkins case, Summer Wells, and many more. I can't name them all. He's also a member of the Round Table, which y'all should notice we're coming up on 1 year. So be ready for our 1 year anniversary live. But without further ado, y'all seen him already in the chat. Y'all welcome my big bro, Mr. John
Q.
What up?
What's good with you?
Hey, that music break that y'all had, I like that.
I appreciate it. Man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man. We in Facebook groups posting, bossing there. We DMing players off the team. We trying to do all type of shit with that shit, man. We trying to get that shit moving.
Yeah, got the right mix. That's the right mix.
It's YJ do a hell of a job putting things together, man. That ain't how the beat actually was.
No.
The producer, when we bought the beat, he sent stems, and YJ put it together how he wanted it, and he did a hell of a job, man.
Appreciate that. Yeah,
solid.
But we're gonna get on this right here, man. This unfortunate case that happened up there in New York State. Yeah, let's go ahead. I guess we're gonna play this. It's 26, but
we know we ain't gonna listen to this whole thing. You know, we'll probably stop and start until we heard enough.
Yeah, because it will get to that point, I'm sure, at a certain point in time. But here we go, man.
And no, he wasn't killed in a car crash. 1-year-old baby boy is dead. Baby NIKKI. And no, he wasn't killed in a car crash. He didn't die in the hospital after some malady. He didn't have a childhood injury. He didn't choke on his food. Nothing like that. This sweet little boy, I don't know if you've ever seen American Girls. My daughter loved American Girls. This little boy looks just like Bitty Baby, who was who was her favorite American Girl. It's American Girl doll baby, Bitty Baby.
I hate when people do that.
He is so perfect. He doesn't even look real. He's dead. A 1-year-old baby is dead from an overdose, a fentanyl overdose.
Cupcake, you there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're gonna watch this here, and then we're gonna get to it.
No problem.
Yep.
How did that happen? What were his parents? Drug mules? Were they addicts? Did they live in a drug house? No. Baby NIKKI died from a fentanyl overdose at daycare. Not only did baby NIKKI die of a fentanyl overdose while at daycare, the daycare had just had their license renewed the week before by the city. Now, there's some good investigative work. The city comes to the daycare and goes, yeah, it's great. You're renewed. Here's your license. There is fentanyl. There are fentanyl presses, which are machines. Once you've seen one, you know what it is. It's kind of like those huge exotic cappuccino machines. They're giant and they're used for drug distribution. 3 drug presses and at least a kilo of fentanyl at the daycare. We find out the fentanyl was kept under the mat where the children played. There's so many things wrong with this, including the fact that the owner operator of the daycare, Gray Mendez, a 36-year-old female, called multiple people before calling 911. Let all that soak in. Joining me right now, a renowned expert. With me, Dr. William Maroney, author of American Narcan on Amazon, chief medical examiner and toxicologist, joining us. Dr. Maroney, thank you for being with us. I want to hear your thoughts right off the bat about baby Nikki Nicholas.
This is such a tragedy, but it reflects the devilish nature. And there is nothing good about fentanyl. And to see.
What happened, Jizzle?
See that it's casually kept in a daycare, health policy, human services, medicine. There's so many different failures at every level here. If you call 911 at this neighborhood in New York, you're going to have a first responder at your home in 2 to 3 minutes, and every single agency that qualifies as a first responder is going to walk in with 2 different sources of Narcan. They're going to walk in with a nasal spray that you can do with anything. You can do it in a baby, you can do it in an adult, and it's a push, and it puts a mist up the nose and gives you 4 milligrams of Narcan. And then as backup, they'll have IV for higher doses. Every single first responder across America, all the police have it, sheriffs, EMTs, at fire department, even the FBI and DEA and military units have fentanyl. That's how dangerous it is. It could be used as a weapon of mass destruction.
All right, I was muted last time. My thing, because they're kind of going off, because when I stopped it before, I was talking, but my thing, all right, like really listen to what happened. What she said at the beginning. That's the real only part I really kind of want to hone in on first, and then we can get into everything else with what fentanyl is and its effects and all of that. Okay, there's a baby. Just think about it logistically is what I want people to think about. And I might bring up the other story because it or not the other, but just the 3-minute clip talking about it because it actually says exactly what happened. She kind of gave a rundown, but okay, there's a baby on a play mat. Okay, so we know this play mat, it has a plastic covering, and on the inside there's padding. So there's a plastic covering, padding, and then another plastic covering on the bottom. And they say the fentanyl is kept under the plastic play mat. So my thing is this drug strong enough to seep through whatever bag it was in, packaging, whatever it was in, it somehow seeped through that and got through the first layer of plastic, then the first layer of plastic from the play mat, and then went through the padding, and then the second layer of plastic as well into the baby's bloodstream somehow.
I would say this. We all know that fentanyl is a very potent drug. And we done seen police officers who actually came in contact who they had to get a Narcan to because they started to overdose.
Right.
Now, in this particular situation, I don't understand why the hell they got fentanyl in this damn daycare in the first place.
Right,
But
right.
I don't know the whole situation. I don't know if it was a hole in the bag, but at the same time, I get what you're saying. But still, if it was a hole in the bag, how did it get through the mat to get to the baby? I don't know. It's very weird. Nikki, John,
I wanted to play because they actually did say that the autopsy done on the child was inconclusive and that they were waiting on the toxicology report as well, on top of what I just said. But John Q, I guess your initial reaction to what's been said so far.
Yeah, this is terrible to hear. A 1-year-old being exposed to the most deadliest drug that's been created, synthetic drug that's been created by man, at a daycare. And there's something wrong with that picture right out of the gate.
exactly.
Why?
Right out the gate. You know, what is fentanyl? The essence of it, the evidence of it doing in a daycare. That's a big problem.
Because these are criminals.
Yeah, that's a big problem. Did they say what daycare this was, where it was located, how many children?
And let me play before Nick Cupcake. I'm gonna play. This is 2 minutes long. I'm gonna just play this real quick, just so we can get just the news, just the information,
right,
of the case. Let me just play that first.
Professor
I feel like
Cupcake,
that would
how
be
are you?
I'm good. How are you, John?
Good. Molly 13, I see you in the building. How you doing, love?
All right, share this tab instead. Let's make it full screen and
He's moving through it now.
all right.
Bringing federal charges against 2 suspects after fentanyl at a daycare killed a 1-year-old boy. Authorities now on the hunt for another person they say was involved, the husband of the daycare operator. According to court papers, 3 young babies from that same daycare hospitalized from exposure to the drug. The youngest, just 8 months old.
They were running a drug operation from a daycare center.
The owner, Gray Mendez and Carlisto Acevedo Brito, accused of storing large amounts of fentanyl at the daycare. Investigators finding a kilo of the drug on top of the baby's playmats, stored in a closet.
So they said on top. Okay, see, I was thinking, okay, that I'm glad I played this again because I swore that the first one that I seen said under. Let me run it back.
The drug on top of the baby's playmats.
On top.
Investigators finding a kilo of the drug on top of the baby's playmats, stored in a closet.
I'm a lawyer, right?
Okay, so now logistically, let's change that. And I'm glad I did this live. Oh, logistically, let's change that. Right.
Yeah.
Because I was wrong, and accountability is a thing that we do, right? So in the closet, it was stored on top of the playmats. Okay. Yep. And I can see that. Cupcake, any, what you got?
It was in the Bronx, and it was a home-based daycare. So that's the reason why it was in there at all, because this is also their home. Now, it was fully licensed, and it passed its initial inspection, and they also passed a surprise inspection in late September. Okay, so they had all the proper documentation to be running that daycare, and I can assume that they also had that because they didn't have prior criminal records. Now, Nancy Grace was wrong when she was talking about pressing pills. What they found in the daycare was a kilo press. Okay, so these people were most likely distributors of it. They were distributors of the raw product to the people who...
And I hate to cut you out, but just so everybody's clear. Nancy Grace went in, and I when I heard that how she explained it, it made it sound like she was talking about a pill press.
Yep.
And this is a package press, to package something, and you're packaging the plastic, not actually pressing pills up or
Right.
the actual raw format of it. Okay, you got
Right. You're pressing the kilo packages. So they're
right.
distributing kilos of this stuff, not pills. And then they're going to sell it off to the people who are going to break it down and turn it into pills, most likely blues, because on the
Or
street,
powder.
yeah, or whatever kind of base. I've been watching all of the channels that interview addicts all over the United States, especially the ones that are on fentanyl and now trank from the inception of their channels. So I've been watching these for like 6 years. And I also watch a lot of the documentaries they do on border control, whether it's the border agents that are in California or Texas. And that leads to the interviews that are done by people who run the DEA and other divisions of law enforcement that intercept this. And I was watching one of them today, actually, which was about fentanyl. One of the border agents that I saw a year ago interviewed, who worked at the California ports, said they had intercepted 33,000 pounds of this stuff. And for a relative analysis, just based on understanding how people can so easily overdose on this. And first, let me say that in the late 1950s, fentanyl, which John is correct, is a synthetic drug, was created as an analog to morphine. And so, like when my mom had her last surgery, the painkiller that they had around after it was fentanyl. Now, it came to prominence about 10 to 15 years ago as pain management treatment for cancer addicts. Like they would put it in lollipops and stuff like that. But if you're sitting at a table in a restaurant, they have the little container that's full of sugar and sweet and low for your coffees. Now, if you look at the sugar container, that is more packed than the sweet and low package. If you were
Right.
to take a sweet and low package and you were to break it open and put it on the table, you have a relative idea of how much is in there. That is enough fentanyl to get 125 people high and overdose 50 people. That's how little is needed.
Right.
And so, what happened is that really, if you look at like classic drug production, where you either have opiates, which comes from opium or coca, that's a plant that has to be maintained. That's also a plant that can be destroyed. So the drug war really was always raging because we're dealing with actual living plants. And so you're trying to navigate your way around those. It's all completely different with um, fentanyl because it's a synthetic, the same way that methamphetamine production became a synthetic drug too. So all they have to do is pull in the components to actually make this. But in regards to the daycare, one of the things that I thought about when I saw this story is, if anybody has watched Power, okay, I can't remember whether Ghost was dead at this point or not, but his wife, one of the first businesses that she tried to open on her own in order to become self sufficient was a daycare. Okay. And at some point in the story, they started pushing drugs out of this daycare. Now, the problem with, illegal money is that you have to find a way to launder it. And everybody opens up, at the higher end of it, everybody opens up legitimate businesses. So this was
Right.
just a legitimate business. Now, whether, how they were going to use that or not, I don't know. But,
I
you
think
can't. Go ahead.
I think my thing is it seems at this point it was a transference type of thing that happened. Like you can't like these drugs, even cocaine, like take raw cocaine and put it in your fingers and move it around. It goes through like it. You can, yeah. This drug is strong enough, man. Yeah, I see how it can happen. I understand because of how strong this drug is. It's like you. There's a reason why people wear gloves to bag this shit up and shit like that.
Yeah, they if you watch the videos of the narcos dealing with this, they're actually in chemical warfare clothing. They're not just in gloves and they're not just in masks.
Right.
They're in biohazard uh, apparel.
And a baby's playing on this mat that is something on top. You know, it's crazy. Like y'all got to get y'all stash spots in order. That's all.
Yeah, and I was at the Rite Aid filling a prescription the other day, and right next to the counter was a whole display of Narcan. And I mean, I'm not going to lie, the next time I go and visit my doctor, I'm going to ask him to write out a prescription for Narcan because this, right now, this is in the drug supply. But if you think like a terrorist organization is going to think, this is the perfect weapon for mass destruction.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think I want to before we get to you, John, I want to hear what Boss got. I see you got something a screen to share, John, and we're gonna get to it. I kind of want to hear what Boss got to say, and then we can move on to see what you got, John.
Not much heavy, but I just wonder why they would even let this come in contact with something that these kids are gonna fucking sleep on.
Right.
Regardless. You know what I'm saying? If it can get in your system through your pores by touching it, you should know that's not a smart idea. I feel like they some fucking idiots, if you ask me, but go ahead, man.
Facts.
Yeah, I mean, think of the idea. Who would think of this kind of a drug at a daycare? Mm-hmm. So that gave them good cover.
Right. It's the perfect. I mean, is it not? Is it? I mean, if you do it right, is it not the perfect cover up?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I mean,
and Lord knows how long they have been doing it right up until this showed up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so this drug is, my God. You know, cocaine used to be the problem, heroin used to be the problem, crack used to be the problem. Now, all these synthetic drugs being manufactured, and they're only making them stronger. People are upping their game in the drug business, because of what? The money it brings in. The money it brings in, so they're creating a shopping mall of various different drug types, affordable just about for anyone to get a hold of. And it moves into the party life, if you will, and people are not familiar with what the hell they're taking.
No,
at all. Not until something like this happens. Now, for fentanyl, a very little, tiny amount, as you see illustrated here on the pencil tip, could cause an overdose. It's that potent.
And John, just to go off of something you just said, when you was talking about all the different drugs that was popular at whatever time,
mm-hmm.
The reason why these drugs keep getting stronger and stronger is because the addicts, their tolerance is getting higher and higher, and it's like, need something else.
Right.
So it done got so bad that you are risking your life to take something so strong, so potent, that you could die from.
Right.
Well, the thing is, what I've seen on, like Nikki brought up these testimonials, I guess, of fentanyl users, who these people are addicted to fentanyl now. And from watching Soft White Underbelly, which is, it goes, people, they show they basically tell their story of addiction. What I've learned is that people don't start off taking fentanyl. It's a type of thing where they're a heroin addict, and one day they get a batch of heroin mixed with fentanyl, or they take Percocet, and Percocet is mixed with fentanyl. And then
Right.
when they take just the heroin or just the Percocet, then it doesn't give them the same thing. So they just be like, hey, fuck it, man. Lace that shit with that shit you gave me last time, because that shit hit my forehead harder than that needle when I was banging it. Like, so it's not a thing most of the time from what I've seen with fentanyl addicts. It's not a thing where they knew the first time they took it. When the first time they took it, they was taking the drug that they usually take, and it was laced with fentanyl. And then they got some more of it, like, oh, this heroin, this boy here, this boy that you gave me, this water that you gave me is a little bit more, had a little more thiol in it than the last one. So I want that shit you gave me. And then you end up finding, just over time, you lose that dealer and the next one and you can't find it. And then you figure out just by word of mouth that, hey, that was probably that lace. That was probably that. So you go look for that now. And it just turns into, now you want that shit with fentanyl, and you don't want no regular heroin. You want that synthetic. And it's just, yeah. And the crazy thing, your tolerance is going, it depletes the tolerance to where you gonna want that now. And when it comes to just the fact of you wanting it, now you at a point where you can't go back to that regular shit, and you gonna be on that shit. Like,
yep,
I
agree. You know, you're weaned up. You know, I mean, beer drinking and weed smoking used to be the thing. You know, and if it was good weed, yo, you didn't need anything else.
Yeah.
You know, and then heroin and cocaine hit the street. You know, a little additive, a little pick me up, if you will. You know, but people overdose from cocaine just as well as they overdose from heroin. You know, depending on how it's manufactured, how potent it is, and obviously what you pay for.
And the one thing that I heard recently about this story regarding the daycare in the Bronx, you know, everyone was like, I can't believe that, you know.
You cut out. You there, Cupcake? I think she dropped. I still see her there. You there?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, I heard it chopped up
She
a
might
little
be
bit.
in motion. She might be in motion, or if she's operating off her phone, could be a battery, or multi-tabs on a computer.
Yeah, drop down and come back, because we can't hear anything if you are saying something. If you can hear me, Molly 13 says, I do not understand why a dealer would want to sell them something that kills all the clientele. That's the age-old thing, man. Addiction is stronger than it's strong. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I mean,
for lack of better words.
No one's taught how to take these drugs. You know, you're doing it out of your own self accord. You know, you're being the judge as to how much you're going to ingest. You know, this doesn't come with directions. You know,
when you talking about the dealer, Marley 13, that they only thinking about money. They don't care about nobody else.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
So this is the end of the story. Like, money before your life.
Exactly. And with this stuff, you know, being put on top of a playmat, you know, depending on how it was stored, you know, this is a very light, flaky powder, you know, and you can get residue. That's what, like YJ said, you know, people use gloves, you know, because there's a residue amount, even if it's already stored in a plastic type container, or however it's stored, you're still going to get a residue powder, even outside of the storage component, if you will. And if that gets on a playmat, kids got their hands on it, they got their clothes on it, they got everything, you know.
Yeah,
and
they teasing.
You know,
okay, they teasing, and you know, they putting their hands in their mouth, they wiping their nose, it's all kind of mucus and shit. Like
exactly, especially when they get colds or they have sniffles. You know, all this can be ingested through, through the nose and through the skin. If it's enough present, it can go right into the skin and cause the same damage, you know. So yeah, this is deadly stuff. And yet this is a big problem. Here's a new drug with a new that causes and creates new problems.
And they need to be under the jail.
This is no joke.
Under the jail.
Yeah, under the jail, through it.
Oh, yeah, and I
You
think
know, what are the common street names for it? It's Apache, China Girl, Chinatown, Dance Fever, Friend, Goodfella, Great Bear, He-Man, Jackpot, King Ivory, Murder 8, and Tango, and Cash.
I think the only one from that list I've heard is Tango.
Tango. Yeah. And it could be, you could lace a joint with it. You can, drink with it. I mean, it's very accessible.
Yeah,
highly accessible.
It's crazy. It's crazy, man.
And here's the ingestion part. How is it used? Fentanyl can be injected, snorted, sniffed, smoked, taken orally by pill or tablet, and spiked onto a blotted paper. Blotted paper. You know what I mean? You get spiked blotted paper. It's just that delicate.
Well, I guess in that case it'd be something like an acid tab or something.
Yeah,
like they used to put it in Jimi Hendrix days and taking drops. You could be any form basically.
My fault. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. Damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. Go ahead.
Jimi Hendrix.
Well, it's an opioid that's commonly used with other opioids, and that's what makes it more and more potent. Morphine, heroin. I mean, you name it. I mean, the list is out there. You were going over
the most common way I've heard is through heroin. Just from watching the soft white underbellies, that it's not, 9 times out of 10 it's a person who was a heroin addict and then they got laced with fentanyl and then it started from there. I don't think pure fentanyl is a thing that you can even play with. But one thing I will say, there's different, everybody is different. Everybody's body is different. So when it comes to it, you may have a fentanyl addict who takes a certain amount and then another person takes the same amount, and that amount they do every day could overdose this person who was a strung out heroin addict. It'll overdose the person who takes this in their first try, and the person who does it daily, they first try, they get the same amount and it does nothing, and it just gets them high regular. Like, so everybody's body is different, and these drugs affect people differently for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
But at the end of the day,
and then they have to cut it with something,
right.
So they're using the drug and then cutting it up with other drug components. So you can imagine what people don't know when they purchase this, however which way they get it. And even what Professor Cupcake just put up there, they cutting it with animal tranquilizer. Think about it. Like I said, this product does not have a written label and description on how to use it when people on the street purchase it.
Of course not. It's not an over-the-counter drug. It's not prescribed. Of course not. But the thing is, I'm saying, going back to her comment before this one, she said people who aren't taking the drug have no tolerance or resistance to it. Immediate death can result.
Yes.
But think about it. I understand people who are on heroin, they're trying to find something else, but they got to try for the first time, right?
Right.
I don't think the fact that they are a heroin addict is going to protect them or help them, because you feel what I'm saying? It's not going to help them because they took heroin before they took fentanyl. So you
Nah.
still taking a risk the first time you try this drug.
But
You know what I'm saying?
and
Absolutely.
either it be willing or unwilling, because you know
Right.
that's it might be you didn't even know. You just knew after you hit this shit, it did something different, and it's chasing that monkey.
Chasing that monkey.
Yeah, one drug to overtake another drug, which overtakes another drug, and so on and so on and so on. They know what they're doing. You know, these folks that have allowed this to even be manufactured. You know, for the medical industry, actually, you know, pharmaceutical companies put the stuff together in a way to where they know where they're getting the ingredients to all these different drugs from.
Absolutely. They got a name.
You know, they're purchasing it in great amounts for far cheaper on the dollar to actually get. And then once manufactured to its final product, you know, then they market it here in the United States. Use that, well, they still do TV advertisements, you know, consult your doctor before taking this prescription, you know, whatever.
I mean, what is it about America that? Because this is one thing I always
Consumerism. We are the largest consumer on the planet.
But do you think it's just the consumerism, or do you think it's? Because I always wondered about this, like even during the 80s, you know, you hear about the stories of Florida and how it was just, you know, people bringing cocaine over, and these drugs, they tend to, you know, be outsourced, even whether it's synthetic or it's grown and synthetics added to it,
Mhm.
like cocaine, or it's just these things, they come in America for a reason. And I think what you said, you kind of hit the nail on the head.
Oh,
I think,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, consumerism.
We
The money
have
is here.
that money. The money is here for us to just play with.
Correct.
Exactly.
Correct. You go with the money. The drugs go where the money supply is.
Right. Because we're the biggest consumer of this stuff, man.
Correct.
Out of anything, out of anybody, I should say.
Yeah, it's lightweight, it's easy to move, and you can get it in great amounts.
And you add into that,
That's
you
the
got
purpose of it, you know, and that can be converted to cash. Once it's converted to cash, boom, there's a market. Because once you have an exchange going on, you know, and
supply
it
and
makes
demand,
and it makes not only money for the banks, the people manufacturing the drug, converting it, manipulating it. You're creating a much more of a market take for it. And then once you get, you know, people prescribed and hooked on it, it's hard to come off, like you said. Hard to come off. You need it as part of your regimen, your routine.
I'm gonna play.
Because if you're trying to come off of it, you crash.
I'm gonna continue this. I think we got like 2 minutes left on this video. I'm gonna go ahead and finish it out.
Okay.
Finish this video out.
Appreciate you allowing me to post this.
Nah, you good. We still got time. I just want to play some more of this video.
And thank you, fellas, for having me on tonight.
Oh, no doubt. Pleasure to have John Q up here.
Oh yeah.
You know me. I like to make my contributions whenever I can.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate it.
And common sense dictates that when you drop off your baby, you expect the baby to be kept safe.
The father of that 1-year-old, Nicholas Dominici, telling WNBC that Nicholas felt happy going to daycare. A lawyer for the daycare operator tells NBC News her client had no idea drugs were in the building. But after finding the baby's unconscious, prosecutors say Mendez tried to cover her tracks, calling her husband before 911.
And all of that happened while the children, the babies, were suffering and in desperate need of help.
Later allegedly deleting thousands of text messages, according to court documents. Prosecutors say they have surveillance footage of her husband entering the daycare empty-handed before police arrived, then leaving 2 minutes later with 2 full shopping bags, dashing out the back alley. Investigators still searching for him. As for the babies, the 3 that survived, all
Still searching for him. Open and shut case. Find this man.
Yeah, most certainly. Nail him.
He trying to get out the country.
Yeah, he moving with it.
He got God.
I mean,
yeah, but
pick up and
you're
run.
right. That's what he doing. He went in that thing before they got there, grabbed the shit, and he's getting as far away as possible.
That's why
They
she
still
called him.
ain't. Right. That it went back. Hold on, let me go back. What was them times? Let me get on my round table shit, bro. It said the times he called. It was like 2 minutes after the time that he called.
239, 241, something like that.
Yeah.
according to court documents. Prosecutors say they have surveillance footage of her husband entering the daycare empty-handed, finding the babies unconscious. Prosecutors say
right there.
Mendez tried to cover her tracks, calling her husband before 911.
Golly, that's all she could say in them 60 seconds. Hey, come get this shit right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You need
all
to get
you
this
can
stuff
say.
out of here. You need to come now and get this stuff out of here.
That's all you can say. I'm gonna let it ride out.
And all of that happened while the children, the babies, were suffering and in desperate need of help.
Later,
Yeah, throw that
allegedly
in
deleting thousands of text messages, according to court documents. Prosecutors say they have surveillance footage of her husband entering the daycare empty-handed before police arrived, then leaving 2 minutes later with 2 full shopping bags, dashing out the back alley. Investigators still searching for him. As for the babies, the 3 that survived, all now home from the hospital.
That's a
As
blessing.
for those suspects, if convicted on these new federal charges, they could both face up to life in prison, guys.
Hard to get your head around that one, Laura.
Horrific.
All right, thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every
Yeah,
weekday.
man. They knew exactly what they was doing. Or she knew exactly what she was doing at that moment when she called that man. And 60 seconds later, called the police, man. That's wild.
And you see the building that daycare operated out of?
That's what I was actually going to touch on, John. It's
That's
like
incredible.
what,
but
I
It
know
looks like jail.
everybody's trying to save a dollar. But when it comes to your kids, man, hey, spend that extra dollar, put them somewhere that's legit, man. And I'm not saying they didn't have the LLC or nothing like that, but you know, daycare's out of homes. Only
Out
way
of
I would do
home.
that if that's family. If it's my family.
You mean the
But-
person running it or the person who's there? You know, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, it's very little paperwork for those that want to put their children in daycare, you know, and they're not sitting down signing too many contracts and too many agreements because, you know, you figure a place like that, you know, would have inspection, you know, and be able to pass certain inspection requirements, you know, fire safety. I mean, you name it, you know, so that's incredible.
Yes,
Absolutely incredible. Underneath, in the ground, and let them pop on the outside until they hit China.
Yeah.
They could face up to life in prison. What do you mean could?
Because I mean, the thing is, that man, he had a head start, and we all know when it comes to people finding, like the more head start you get, it would seem to me logically, I would think, you know, he didn't have that much of a head start, but I mean, he did have a head start. I will say that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You know, but you got cameras out in the cities, you know, and that's.
And
what
I'm sure they got
him.
a photo, and they didn't, you know, they didn't
post
put
a photo of them. Yeah.
Did they? I'm trying to think. Did they post a photo of the dude they looking for though?
Right. No, not in the news article that you showed. I didn't see it.
Right. They didn't show, and that's probably for, I don't know. You know, they have different reasons why they post and why they don't post. I don't know why they wouldn't if they're looking for him, why they wouldn't? What is, I guess, in y'all's, and this question goes to both of y'all because y'all deal with these, not specifically these type, but in a case that someone's trying to get, are they trying to find someone? What are the reasons why they wouldn't post this photo right now as soon as possible?
Right.
There's no reason. There's no reason. I can't think of one.
Right. I mean, when a situation like this happens and you are, looking for someone, automatically a bolo, be on the lookout, should go out.
So I don't understand that with this.
I'm sure that these people have, got some records. Sure, they got some records somewhere.
Right. Because they know that it's her husband and they, there's marriage records. You can find the name and, so
track and trace.
He's a criminal. I'm pretty sure they got it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Track and trace.
So that right there is kind of like, it would baffle me as if my kid was in the daycare, I would be pressing their ass like, okay, where's the photo at? Put the shit out. Let the people see who this is that y'all looking for. I don't understand.
Yeah, because all they have to do is once they know the name, they can run the name through APHIS. APHIS, which is a database that they keep and collect, everybody in a database. Once those names are attached to relatives, associations, jobs, everything, they can start to connect the dots as to how and who is handling these types of drugs.
Cupcake say he in custody.
Oh, he's in custody. Oh,
let me go and
filter this updated link. If you got an updated link to send us, find out who he is.
Please send the link if you got it. We definitely will play. Okay, let me see. I think I might have found it.
I gotta say this, and I'm saying this to
okay. I see. Go ahead.
And I'm just fucking with you, but at the same time, it goes back to the conversation we had earlier. And I was just talking about parents, putting your kids in legit daycares. Right. It was a choice that these parents made. A mistake. The result is when you go to, I'm gonna just use this term, a bootleg daycare, you gotta expect the worst to happen, right?
That's a good name for it. That's a good name.
Right, YJ?
Yeah, I mean, if you choose to, let your kids be in a home, as Cupcake did say, it was the people lived there. It wasn't like a business. It wasn't a place of. So
that's what it looks like. It looked like
nobody should be lacking. I bet you nobody lacking empathy for them parents and them kids.
That's true.
I'm fucking with you, bro. I'm fucking with you.
That's true. Another false equivalency, but that's true.
False equivalent.
It's not a game. It's not a game we're playing.
You gotta go to the root of the conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
Make a decision to do something. You have to expect what can happen. Right. At the end of the day, whether it's a game or it's real life shit. That's just life. That's all I was saying, I know it may seem like a false equivalent, and we going way left when we talking about death of a baby versus an injured football player. But at the same time, I was just going by what your statement said. So that's all.
Yeah. I do see this 4 hours ago. She said he's been arrested. This says 4 hours ago, Bronx daycare death. So this is ABC 7 NY. So let's go ahead and run this up. Oh yeah, run this up.
All right.
Okay, share. Oh. Add. All right, here we go.
Weeks since a little boy died after being exposed to fentanyl in a Bronx daycare. Today, a grand jury in the borough returned an indictment against 2 people for their role in the boy's death. All of these days later, investigators say gathering evidence. In fact, they just released brand new photos.
Because they said 2 people. It should be 3.
Look at the closet. They put this stuff in. Look in the closet. Look at this. Damn.
You got to expose where the drywall at. Like y'all ain't had no door. That's why I said get y'all stash spots in order.
It looks like they had to go through the wall to almost like to a hiding place here. If this is
right,
if this
or
is
maybe they had a door there and the police cut all that out to see them studs in there.
Right.
So the goddamn mat shouldn't have been behind the wall when the kids need them on the daily.
Well, see, that X's out what they said. If this was where it's at, then how could a mat be behind the drywall?
That's exactly.
Okay, man. The more we, man, hold up, man.
Yeah, you keep digging at it, it gets worse. You keep digging at it, it gets worse. I mean, to see that much, if this was an actual evidence technician photo that captured this amount of fentanyl behind a wall or wherever it was located at the daycare, this is absolutely crazy.
But if you look, look all the way to the right, in the middle, that top right bag right there.
Yeah,
that's how all of them are packaged. So they're packaged. It looks at least to be 2 times because
this is Ziploc bags, right?
Right, it's Ziploc bags and it's wrapped, and then it's wrapped, and it's wrapped again, because you could tell because you see that line on there. That's the part where you zip it, and that's in the middle, but it's in another bag on top of that.
So let's think about this, because I was just reading Nikki News comment. This can't be the place where they was watching the kids, because didn't he go in there and grab the dope?
Right,
so this had to be somewhere else they found this at.
Yeah, they said in the closet.
No, but it can't be where those kids was at, because you remember
that's
they
what.
Said,
yeah, go ahead.
You remember they said he came in there before the police got there and grabbed the bags and took them out of their daycare. They were there, but not when the police got there. So I don't even know what this is a picture of. I know it is a picture of, but where is this at? Is this actually a picture where they found his dope? Because they found his, why the hell they ain't find him?
Right.
I
Or
would assume
whether this is a picture of where they found it, maybe in their apartment inside the building.
This dumb. You think he's that stupid to take it to his house?
Well, they didn't know before they got there that he took it out.
Yeah, this video is this video's from she said 6 hours. This video from 4 hours ago. I'm gonna let it run.
Okay.
Used to hide drugs in the daycare.
Okay. I'm gonna let it run some more, but that's obviously the floor, and the fact that this is up like this.
Oh, they had to break open the floor.
But it's been open before, obviously, because how could it get in there, for one? And if you look at the top right corner, it looks like a handle or something right there. Because the thing is, you got a flat surface. There has to be something. Well, there doesn't have to be something. Matter of fact, if you know where it's at, but you would see this, right? If you would see, it would look like there would be something like a rug over this or something.
What's up, Carol?
Or even a playmat.
Or even a playmat. I don't know why you would put a playmat directly on the floor. If I was taking my kids in and playmat was, well, that floor.
This should say the Bronx daycare. Trapdoor filled with drugs found in the floor at the Bronx daycare.
Look at that.
And that would make sense if it was a home daycare and they had lived here, and it's, it fronted as a daycare as well. I mean, that is, you can have an LLC in your house.
Yeah, you can. I have one.
Right.
How you doing, Carol?
Yeah, so this is in the daycare. That's what it says on the screen.
Right. They should have that. That's wild. Let me go in here. I said I'm gonna run it, and I play 3 seconds of that shit. Soon 3 seconds pass, I'm playing it. Hold on, let me pause.
You paused it right. You paused it right because it gives more context to the content that you're showing.
All right.
More in this story. We go live to Eyewitness News reporter Anthony Carlo. who's on the scene with the latest. Anthony?
Well, and Sade, police say that trap door found in the floor in this daycare, which is right through these doors here beyond this crime scene tape. Police say the trap door in the play area directly beneath the play mats where children would take nap time. And today, cops finding more fentanyl, more illicit narcotics, and drug paraphernalia. Crime scene investigators back at the scene today, evidence bags in their hands as they comb the Bronx building that apparently served as a child care center by day and drug mill by night.
I may not have given birth to them. I may not have been the parent that sent them to that daycare center, but every single person in this county feels what those parents feel, that they entrusted that daycare center to take care of their children.
Bronx District Attorney Darcel Clark today vowing to get justice as a memorial grows outside. Sources say the latest search warrant executed on Morris Avenue revealing a trap door typical to a drug operation in the floor of the Divino Nino daycare being run out of an apartment. The search for hidden drugs continuing just days after the daycare owner and her cousin-in-law were hit with federal drug possession charges. Today, a grand jury in the Bronx indicting Bray Mendez and Carlisto Acevedo Brito. He was allegedly renting a room at the home daycare where lethal drugs were being stashed.
That's just
Parents
two people.
only growing more outraged.
The city has to intervene in these daycares, have more presence in it, and have more regulations.
Authorities say Mendez's husband, who
up,
allegedly
80s
fled
baby?
the daycare with bags in his hand.
80s baby in the building.
His husband, who allegedly fled the daycare with bags in his hand as children were suffering from fentanyl poisoning, is still on the run from.
Still on the run. It's 4 hours ago. So they got the cousin-in-law, but the husband is still at large. And this is a video 4 hours ago.
And that tells you too that there's trafficking going on here as well.
No doubt.
No doubt.
Yeah, and I was thinking the same thing. I was actually going to say that, but yeah, when he got it in 2 bags.
What'd she say?
He got what he could get, or what was in an obvious spot, and left the ones that he thought they would not find. So yeah, you're right.
I wonder how long they actually had this daycare going.
Man.
Yeah. You know, how long have they been doing daycare from that point till now? You know,
my thing is there definitely had to be a drug dog involved, because just for me, I've laid vinyl tiling before, and if there's anything, like, you would see a break in that vinyl tiling. That's just typical vinyl 12 by 12 vinyl tiling with adhesive. Okay, so when you lay this down, these things are flush against each other.
Right.
If for it to be a trap door, I know 100% that all of the rest of the floor was flush, but there was a line where this trap door was. You would see a gap in between there. There's no way you would not see anything. So that's why I said there had to be a rug over this. If it was a play mat involved that was on top of this, then it would be over a rug, because you trying to hide something. You're not going to have no inkling of any gaps in your floor if you got something in that floor. You're going to put something over it. They had to have a dog on this, man.
Mm-hmm.
So let's think about this, though. Did they search the house immediately while they was there on the scene when the kids got in contact with this fentanyl? Or did they come back? Because let's think about it. You called 911 because of some kids something's wrong with them. So you had to find out that it was fentanyl. I don't think they found that out on the scene. So if they did search immediately, what made them do that?
Well, I would figure the initial call, the 911 call, had led them to believe, if they called for medical emergency, because the children were having a reaction to the drug, unbeknownst to them at the time, because they weren't told anything by these people. They would ask what happened, what did the children eat, take them through a repertoire of questions and everything else like that, and then come to
Right.
the conclusion that based upon what they're looking at, how the place was taken care of, how it was handled, and things of that nature, any suspicion that there could be an issue here drug-wise, they would have called in K-9 as a secondary
Oh
call to
yeah.
come in and try to clear the building.
Oh yeah.
Or they already was watching their ass. Who knows?
Yeah. Hey,
And that could have been it too.
Right.
Could have been it too. We got your ass on camera. We saw you come in with the damn bags, but we never seen you come out with them up until we had to get here to see you on camera come out with them then.
Right. And you see that damn gear they got on now. That ain't they know they ain't dealing with something, regular on inside that thing, man. Yeah. I'm gonna let this finish out. It got probably about a half a minute left.
Why would you want to help somebody that murdered a baby in a daycare center?
The Bronx's top prosecutor with a strong message for the suspected co-conspirator and whoever may be hiding him.
And he needs to turn himself in because we are going to find him as well.
And investigators continue to comb the daycare here for evidence. Meanwhile, the daycare owner and her cousin-in-law remain in federal custody. That indictment returned by that Bronx grand jury today, that will be unsealed in the coming days during an arraignment. Bronx DA Clark says that her prosecution will focus largely on the murder of that woman.
They combing that damn daycare. They need to be combing LaGuardia Airport at that bitch. That's all I'm. Shit, that boy, man. Hey, I hope they find his ass though.
He goes.
He'll come out of what? New York City. Go over the George Washington Bridge over to New Jersey, and get lost on I-95.
95.
You said it.
Yeah,
you said it.
Take it to a different route. That's not occupied or monitored by law enforcement.
Right.
But I-95 is a conduit that they use to get it up here.
I mean, at that point, you would think he would just take it out, ditch it, and then get clean for himself, just in case he get a traffic stop. He out and they looking for a certain type of person. They have, to say the least, they have a description of him. I believe they have a picture of him. But to say that. Yeah, I would think they would have to, at this point, know exactly who this man is that they're looking for.
Yeah, because you figure if you get a search warrant for the apartment that they lived in, what are you going to have inside the living room? Predominantly some pictures of
something
of the family, something.
Registration for a vehicle registration, or something is in that damn place.
Yeah,
man.
Or even the daycare license that was signed.
Does he own it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's something in there. It's something in there. Even if he's not his name could be not on any paperwork, which would make sense to me if he's the one, doing all the mischievous acts. He wouldn't want his paper on anything that could be linked to anything to that thing.
Yeah, do the old school way of renting. Let the female go in and do all the paperwork and everything, and you come later. Type stuff.
I'm gonna read some of these comments. Guess I'm gonna start here because we kind of been chopping it up. So I'll start with 80s baby, probably Matt, which is mostly used. Yeah, that's true. Salute Carol Smith. Cupcake say reports are the husband and wife are in custody. Perhaps they're looking for the individuals in the handoff footage. It was the cops who were beside the DA who mentioned the camera footage. Okay. I guess I didn't find the right video because it didn't say the husband. It said the cousin-in-law, the male who was walking out with her. So it's probably, but I would think it wouldn't take them long if they know who they looking for.
Right.
I mean, that's what they do. That's their job. Is to people finding is a whole industry. And y'all niggas, y'all some people finders to me. Shit. YouTube people finders, man. If y'all can do it, they ass better be able to do it.
Yeah, well, especially if they have the right equipment out there, monitoring equipment,
Right,
cameras,
the resources,
especially around a daycare. You're going to have cameras, children, cameras on the building, adjacent from the building, down the street to the corner where the traffic lights are, and all I got to do is track and trace.
Yeah,
track and trace.
Yeah,
that's right.
So I don't know. I think hold on. So I guess y'all got any last words, I guess, on that specific topic?
No, it's a horrible story to hear that children are being exposed to environments where drugs like this are at, and people just doing regular businesses, whether it be a daycare, it could be the dry cleaners tomorrow, it could be a grocery store, it could be, I mean, they're finding ways to mask and camouflage this drug activity that's pervasive all over the country. Because of the economy, people are not making ends meet with the wages that are out there, so they have to find sidelines. This is one of them. Because it's got more bang for the buck. You can pull more money from it.
We was talking about earlier.
See if I can find what
You there?
Who?
Yeah, I hear you,
boss. Yeah, I was okay. Shit. I kind of wanted to touch on one more thing, man. I know we done went over an hour and a half. That's usually our mark. If you ain't had nothing else for that, I wanted to touch on one more thing, if that's cool, or we could go ahead and ride out.
No, go ahead, man.
All right, and this kind of deals with we was talking about these drugs. This is a over-the-counter drug, and I really, when I seen this, it brought up a lot of questions. So I'm gonna play this video, and I kind of want to get y'all's reaction on it, see if it's the same as what I thought, or if it differs or whatnot. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Make that big. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, here we go. Let's just watch real quick. I think it's a 3-minute video. We're gonna watch it. I kind of want to get y'all's take on this.
Kind of a stunning new message from the FDA. A key ingredient in the over-the-counter cold medicines that so many of us buy, well, it just doesn't work. For years, we were told that products like Sudafed and NyQuil were effective, but now a unanimous advisory panel tells the FDA that a key ingredient in those products is in fact ineffective in getting rid of nasal congestion. Let's talk about this with NBC News health and medical reporter Berkeley Lovelace Jr. Hey, Berkeley, good to see you. What more can you tell us about the FDA advisory panel's ruling and what happens now?
Yeah, so the ingredient phenylnephrine is the most popular oral decongestant on the market. And so the FDA reviewed 5 studies over the past 2 decades, and the panel concluded that this drug was no better than a placebo in terms of getting rid of nasal decongestion. And so now the FDA...
All right, I'm going to just stop it there to throw in a little cliff note. He said 5 over 2 decades this was tested, okay? I hate to throw it out there, but we know how long the booster was we know how long the jab was tested. That's all I'm gonna say. Now I'll keep going.
They will now review this evidence, and over the next few months, they'll decide whether or not to pull this drug from the market, and that's expected to have a big impact. It's also important to note that we're talking about oral decongestants, the ones that you take by mouth. Your nasal spray is still expected to be effective.
So why did it take so long for the FDA to realize that this doesn't work, Berkeley?
Yeah, so the FDA just didn't have enough data. So there were calls back in 2007 and even in 2015 to remove this drug from the market. But the drugs that we're using to support its over-the-counter use just weren't that credible, or there were many inconsistencies in the data. And so now they were able to look at 5 credible studies, and each of those studies found that the drug was not effective.
So, Dr. Gupta, I mean, the fall cold and flu season is coming up soon. What does this mean for consumers? Should they stop buying these over-the-counter cold and flu medicines? Some people have had problems, frankly, with the nasal sprays. They find that they kind of almost get addicted to them. So, what are the alternatives here?
Well, Chris, this is a big deal. Thank you for highlighting, and Berkeley for your reporting. Just to be clear, Sudafed, this is the active ingredient Sudafed, which is behind the pharmacy counter. You can get it without a prescription. Active ingredient is pseudoephedrine. That is still very much effective as an oral pill decongestant. Sudafed PE, for all your viewers out there, the source of big confusion. That has phenylephrine as the active ingredient. That's what we're talking about today. Sudafed PE likely is going to come off the market. Sudafed, though, pseudoephedrine is the active ingredient. Sudafed behind the pharmacy counter, okay. If you cannot tolerate Sudafed, because let's say you have hypertension or glaucoma, cardiac conditions, Chris, this is going to be a longer conversation, then you can take a spray, like a nasal spray. You can take Afrin, potentially, Flonase. These are common spray decongestants, but to your point, people prefer oral pills versus the spray. I see this all the time in my patient panel. They like the oral pill versus the spray. In that case, Sudafed is still effective. Sudafed PE no longer likely effective. This also is going to impact things like Tylenol, cold and flu, for which phenylephrine is the active ingredient. So this has a massive potential impact here as we think about OTC meds for cold and flu season.
Yeah, to think about all the money that they made up. To think about all the money that they've made off of this drug, probably I think I seen this another one that said $300-something billion. Like all of this money you made off a drug and it don't even work, man. Like,
yeah, because they know it's a seasonal product. You know, people just don't, go out and buy this stuff every day. Usually between now and up until the end of April, for those that suffer from allergies before we get into, actual spring and summer and stuff like that. These are seasonal products that, for the most part, like the story said, could be placebos.
That's what they're basically
marketing
labeling
placebos, giving people the impression that this is something outside of a prescription, which is more costly, that they can get to remediate any kind of cold or flu symptom or congestion or even allergies. Only to find them being let's just say demarketized. When I say that, I mean people are not buying the product because they're moved on to other prescribed products. So it slows the old market down where the other products that are prescribed are brought into play. So when the market goes bad for the old over-the-counter products, then they begin to pull them off the shelves.
Yeah, big business.
It's crazy, but it's a market.
So do y'all use these? I've used some of these products that they did talk about. Have y'all used them before?
No,
I haven't.
No. Okay. NyQuil is got more alcohol in it than most drinks.
And see, my thing with NyQuil, right? When I get sick, okay, because I have taken NyQuil, and I kind of to a certain extent stand behind NyQuil, but it's not for the reason that of nasal decongestion. Because I stand behind it because I know when I go to sleep, my white blood cells work more than when I'm awake. So if I'm asleep and I'm sick, then I feel like I'm in a better state than if I'm awake. So I'm gonna take NyQuil. Basically, the when it comes down to it, the active ingredient that they were talking about is not the reason why I take NyQuil. The reason I took or take NyQuil is because of dextrahydromorphine, whatever the shit that active ingredient, those 20 or 10 milligrams in NyQuil that make you go to sleep
Yeah.
is the reason why I take it.
Yeah.
It's not for nasal decongestion.
Right. No, I get you. And for the most part, that's why people take NyQuil.
Right. And I, you know me, I ain't
You want
gonna
to sleep
hold you.
after. You want to sleep after a day of coughing and hacking and all this stuff. Man, I'm tired.
Right. You wake up and your nose is a little bit more clear
Yeah.
because them white blood cells been working a little bit harder while you was asleep than when you was awake.
Right.
So that's kind of how I deal with, sicknesses on my end. But I don't know, man. It's kind of wild because how long it took for this to even come out.
Mm-hmm. How many other products you would think?
That's
How many
exactly.
other products on those shelves, the over-the-counter shelves, are also placebos too?
I'm pretty sure it's a lot.
And it goes into a whole nother discussion, which is
Yes, it
the
does.
power of the mind in a placebo. And every test that they do, when people think that something is going to work for them, how much better things come out.
Right.
Let me tell you this.
Go ahead.
One thing that you can't think that's working that is going to cure is a migraine. A migraine, if you take any medicine and it's a placebo, trust me, you're going to know because that migraine ain't going nowhere.
You said it ain't no blind power in the world. And hey, another one I will say is a toothache. I will include that in that conversation. If you ever had a bad toothache, people say they will take a tattoo over a bad toothache any day.
Real.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
'cause
I guess
that hits the nervous system quick.
Oh yeah. But I guess any last words on? I just want to throw that just for people to I guess examine what's in your medicine cabinet. Because like they said, Sudafed, yes, does work, but what they just talked about has been basically proven that it does not. So that's all. I kind of just wanted to put that out there, man, as a signing off note. Boss, you got any feel good? Did we do a feel good? We try to do a feel good story each time. Is there anything you seen pop up, boss, that kind of gave you that feel good?
No, I ain't had no feel good story today. Searched, but I couldn't find nothing. But I do have an answer to your question you had earlier about how long that family was in that daycare. They had that daycare. They became licensed May 16th of this year.
Of this year? Okay.
This year. There you go. There you go.
But they also said they've been having drugs, and I don't know how they know that. Just makes me think they've been watching, but they've been having drugs in there since July. So I don't know how the fuck they came up with that.
I wouldn't be surprised, man. Like when Q was talking about, like how long has this been going on, man? That amount, it would tell me this shit just didn't pop up 2 weeks ago.
No,
like
hell no.
that was surplus. That wasn't what they were dealing with. What he came and got was what they was dealing with. The surplus, that's what up under that drop hatch, that trap door shit. That's what I think that was.
Right.
Yeah. That was
now you got to ask the question. Now you got to ask the question: where are these people from? Are they originally from New York?
Yeah, I doubt it.
In the last 2 years, we've been having a migration problem for the longest. For that daycare just to have started in May of this year. And there is a major problem with the migration concerning fentanyl now, more so than ever before. And so for them to have had this daycare since May, and we've been having this problem of migration for the last 2 years, about to go into a third year, about as long as the administration's been standing, a lot's been going on under our nose. that we don't know about.
Yeah. Yeah, shit. We almost been here 2 hours, man. Probably gonna get up on out of here. I think when we ride out, boss, we ought to play that We Here Again, man.
Why not?
Yeah, why not, man? On all platforms, man. Spotify, all that good stuff, man. Yeah, man. Let me
Thank you for having me.
go ahead
I'm
and
going to
post
drop
it.
down and
Yeah.
make my move and everything else like that. I've enjoyed tonight's live. I appreciate it. I'm definitely subscribed and I'm coming back.
All right, we appreciate you, John.
All right, one love.
Good to hear. Good to
All
hear.
right, we gonna
Definitely
go
on.
ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you got it.
Yeah, we're just I was gonna say we're gonna wrap it up with the new banger, man.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
We here,
October 6th, definitely the duo project dropping, man. That thing already locked and loaded. It's already locked and loaded, man. Set to hit all platforms. October 6th. But if you're a real one, you're gonna hit that Bandcamp and get the full real deal on it, you know. So you're gonna see us, you know, posting about it, whatnot, community boards and all that. Salute to the people that came through. Definitely Carol Smith, Cupcake, as always. 80s Baby, Marley 13, salute. Definitely salute to John Q for coming through, man. Gracing the panel for us here on the Big Business Podcast. You already know.
You better believe it. It ain't big business if we ain't talking about it. You did.
Facts.
Holla at y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. We out this bitch. We here.
We got now. We ain't got next. We got now. We ain't coming no more.
Better move out the way. Better move out the way. They ain't got nothing else to say. You can doubt us all you want. You can doubt us all you want. We coming. We coming. You better move out the way. Better move out the way. They ain't got nothing else to say. You can doubt us all you want. You can doubt us all you want. But it's up. It's up. It's up. It's up.
To all the haters, y'all can step on. It's time to move on. Coach trying to find a new home. We talking Buffalo strong. Them old hills, we tell them so long. You can't tell me I'm wrong. Hey, we gon' run this 9 round. That mean the Honda go long. Hey, hold on, they just don't know. Our Buffalo road, you better know we gon' protect them. And that's the end of your road. And they know wherever we go, know that we don't fold. We know the haters talking, we just act like we don't know. Don't let go. And they know we strap up, we put on, we go hard, they go home. That's on God, they'll fold, make them roll. But no tide, we roll with no stride. We coming, but we live. Colorado has a pride, so let's ride.
Move out the way, better move out the way. They ain't got nothing else to say. And you can doubt us all you want. You can doubt us all you want. We coming. We coming. You better move out the way. Better move out the way. They ain't got nothing else to say. And you can doubt us all you want. You can doubt us all you want. But it's up. It's up. It's up. It's up for them. Move. Or we gon' move some. Go. We gon' move some. Or we gon' move some. Move. Or we gon' move some. Go. We coming. Go. We coming. We better move. Or we gon' move some. Go. We coming. Go. We coming. Or we gon' move some. Or we gon' move some. Go. We coming. Go. We coming. Or we gon' move some.
Yeah. Oh shit! I thought I was on mute. That whole